final possession with Portland. And the news on KD's injury is bad. We've got you covered in 1 minute. Then Charles Barkley, live in a half hour on Zion, Anthony Davis, and who is going to win the NBA championship. Plus, round one was a roller coaster ride for Tiger Woods at the PGA. Can he still make a charge? We'll go there live looking for answers. It's time to get up on a Friday, starting right now. Good morning and welcome to our studios in New York, and thank you for starting the day with us. Great to have Jay Will back. Laura is here. Farnham is here. And how about Matt Barnes has made his way in studio?
You know what I like most about this? I'm just going to be really honest. You got two UCLA guys on the set. Finally, Jay Will gets to understand what it's like for the rest of us with all the Duke guys that we have talking to him.
That's all right. Don't worry. Fear not. We'll bring Billis in at some point this morning just to make everyone feel better. All right. Let's get to the game of the night, and it was an interesting one. Warriors-Blazers game 2 at Oracle. Part 2 of the battle of the Curry brothers, and this one was a little more even than you might have thought. Seth's Blazers up 15 at the half, but in the third quarter, Farnham, here comes Steph.
Yeah, a nice little 5-0 run for Steph Curry here, and what you started to notice is the aggressiveness that you saw in the first half from Portland, it flopped, and the Warriors got out in the open floor. They were more aggressive. They moved well without the ball.
Yeah, that was the ensuing possession, so it's a 5-0 run, and then Clay gets in the act, and it's an 8-0 run, and then more from Klay Thompson and Jay Will. When these guys get hot, it gets very dangerous.
Their style is different when Kevin Durant is down on the floor. Look at the fluidity of their offense. Look at the passing. This is what's beautiful about Golden State basketball.
It's a 13-0 run in less than 2 minutes, so they're right back in the game. Fourth quarter. Now we're tied at 92, and it is Seth Curry. How about him drilling the three? Portland up by 3, and then with Portland leading it by 4, it's Seth Curry again.
By the way, Mom and Dad had no idea who to root for.
Well, I mean, imagine the emotional roller coaster this is for them. Blazers up a touchdown. Later, Golden State still down by 7. It's Steph going by Seth for the lay-in. Say that 5 times fast. Warriors down 5. Later, Warriors still down 5. And look at this pass. Draymond, Iggy. Oh, look at that nice cut.
They get 3 of those a game. Everyone's so worried about Steph and Clay coming off down picks. The slips are always open.
Golden State down 3 after a couple free throws. A minute 10 to play. Blazers down 2. That's no good. And now we're going the other way. Bang! That is Steph again, and knocking it down to Curry's parents. They don't know what to think. Ensuing possession. Portland is up by 1. Throwing it up and knocking it down is Kevon Looney. Warriors back up by 1.
Just great ball movement. They assisted on 71% of their made field goals last night.
40 seconds to go. Still a 1-point game. CJ McCollum for the lead. No good. That's the shot that he hit to knock out Denver in the previous series. So now, same score, 20 seconds to go. Where's Golden State going to go for the bucket? Will it be Steph? Will he give it up? Oh, yes, he will. It's Draymond. The Warriors a 3-point lead. So that's your situation. 10 seconds to play. Portland down 3. Damian Lillard being guarded by Andre Iguodala. And look at the D all over. Some contact there the first time. Then the strip is clean the second. And that is all she wrote. Golden State comes from way behind and hangs on late to win. As we show you the replay, there was some contact before this that maybe could have been called. Right there, that piece of the play is definitely clean, and Golden State running away with a 114-111 win in Game 2.
We stole that game. I thought they outplayed us for much of the night, but we brought enough competitive fire in the second half to overcome their great play.
Steph, take us inside Curry versus Curry.
This was like the coolest experience I think I've ever had playing, against him. For my parents, I know we talked about it the whole series, and these last 2 games, it's probably nerve-wracking as heck for them, but it worked out perfectly tonight. He played well, and we won.
I tell you what a remarkable time this is for that family. In the meantime, the Warriors are 15-1 in the playoffs when Steph scores at least 35. That is the best record of its kind in NBA history, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. So there's a lot to be said about this game, both big picture and small. Let's start small. What was your primary takeaway from last night?
I just don't think Portland has enough gas in the tank to get them to where they want to go. They just seem dead tired. Dame Lillard even said it, that he is dead tired physically and mentally, and their defense was abysmal. I mean, Golden State shot 51% from the field, and a lot of these are all PNRs, the same thing we saw in the first game.
To me, what I stood out about this game was just very simple. This was a game that the Trailblazers had to win. Game 1, they didn't play well. They turned the ball over. They were sloppy. Dame Lillard didn't play well. Game 2 was a different story.
Dame played pretty well over the course of the game offensively. He controlled the game in the first half, didn't force his offense. CJ McCollum was outstanding, and they still lost. They made 18 three-point shots last night, and they lost this game. Tell me how they win. I mean, that becomes a question. How do they win a game?
Defense would help. But you have Dame Lillard chasing around Stephen Curry the whole game. That's the problem. That takes away his legs offensively.
I think it's a tale of two halves. I think Portland came out and hit Golden State in the mouth in the first half, but when, Kerr talked to them at halftime, they regrouped and then came out strong. When Golden State is playing defense and then their offense speaks for itself, they're hard to beat.
So, Matt, a lot of people, though, are talking about this maybe being a sweep for the Warriors, but you actually do think that the Trailblazers...
I don't know if it'll be a sweep. I think Portland has a lot of pride. Dame's one of the best leaders in the game, and Portland is a very tough place to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got game 3 or 4, but it's definitely Warriors in probably 5 or 6.
Warriors looking to head on to the final. Go ahead, Jay, final thought.
Just when you see Myers Leonard, when you see Harkless, when you see their bigs, they can't guard the action that Golden State runs because they're trying to get out there and blitz a pick and roll. And that's when all these different slips that, Matt, you alluded to, that's where they occur. That's where they rotate the ball. Just the way they play with the versatility of their offensive pieces, they're too much for Portland.
There was a lot more going on than just the game last night, though. The other big storyline here, of course, that the Warriors are playing without Kevin Durant, and there is an overall feeling they probably could win this series without Kevin Durant, but maybe not the championship. Well, the news gets worse because the Warriors announced that Durant will not play in games 3 and 4 in Portland and will be reevaluated in a week. Steve Kerr admitted after the game last night the injury to the right calf is worse than they originally thought.
Just trying to hold down the fort, and hopefully he continues to progress, and he has made progress, but it's a little more serious than we thought at the very beginning. So we'll see where it all goes.
We can't sit and look over our shoulder and say, "Hey, man, when's K going to be back?" We just got to play. With whatever we got to play and give him an opportunity to get back.
We're confident we can win, but we would much rather have him, playing. So we're gonna hold the fort down until he gets back and go win, another championship with our full squads.
What a fascinating little narrative is being set up here. And Matt, I'm going to start with you because as I listened to those comments, particularly, you played with these guys. You were there for this particular iteration in Golden State. So I've been phrasing it wrong the last couple of days. The Warriors are not better without Kevin Durant, but they look like they're having a better time when they play without Kevin Durant. What are you seeing?
I think the ball just finds the energy. I think what's always made the Warriors so dangerous is you have to hold everyone accountable because everyone's touching the ball. Sometimes like Houston where James Harden's dribbling the air out of the ball, maybe guys may not be ready or have a rhythm to shoot, but with Golden State, the ball finds the energy, it finds the open guy, and the guys are always making the right play. And then, the Splash Brothers are, back to their normal dominance.
Which begs the question, what do you think KD's mindset is this? And Jay, obviously you know him better than anybody at the table. What is your sense of what he's thinking as he's watching this?
Well, obviously he wants his team to win. There was an iconic picture of him, cheering in game 1. But I saw something last night that I'm not speaking for him, but for me, it kind of bothered me because, and we're going to show the video, Stephen Curry was on the free throw line. And granted, Steph is an incredible player. He's MVP caliber, 2-time MVP. Take a listen to what the fans are cheering.
Why does that bother you?
Well, because now it takes me to the point where it's like, okay, could this ever really be my team? And I feel like if you're a basketball player, that's Kevin Durant's team, right? But from the outside looking in, as a fan, fans still see it as Stefan's team. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says, that has to sit with you in some kind of form or capacity.
But he knew that when he signed there.
But
this isn't new. It's not like Steph Curry all of a sudden
back-to-back finals MVP.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, but you're talking about regular season MVP. You're talking about Steph Curry. You're talking about this organization turning when he got there and taking it to the level in which we see now. He joined a team that already had won an NBA championship that was led to an NBA championship with Steph Curry. So it's not to me, that's not really that big of an issue because they're showing love to a man that has
helped resurrect an organization to a point where now they are considered a dynasty.
I understand
But
how
their
you see it.
intention and the way it is received can easily be two different things.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about whether or not Kevin Durant has become the best player in the world. Last night, the fans were chanting MVP at one of his teammates.
I think
it's an interesting scenario.
Like you said, you take it how you want to take it, but at the end of the day, these people love their team, but Steph is their guy. Steph is someone they drafted. Steph helped them get the first championship. Sean's right. KD made them a distinguished dynasty, but no matter what happens, this will always be Steph's team. KD is the best player in the world, best player on the team, but it's Steph's team.
But that begs the question, does that inform KD's future? When everyone says, well, why would he leave that circumstance? That's a pretty good reason why he might leave that situation.
And look, I don't think any decision has been made yet. I think this is a series of ebbs and flows. So if this is an ebb or a flow, I mean, in that particular moment, I think it affects you. Look, two things can be true at once, Sean.
Right.
You can have Stephen Curry be the guy that built the franchise. You can also have Kevin Durant be the best player. But Matt, we know this too. We all know this. You have your own ego. We all have major egos, right? And to be Kevin Durant, look, I'm Kevin Durant.
He checked that ego when he signed there, though.
No, he did not. I think it's grown.
Yes, he did.
It's grown because he's coming to his own man there as well. Same way LeBron James went down to Miami. He found out what an organization is. He became his own man. The same thing's happening to KD in this situation with Golden State.
I just don't think he really knows. I think right now he's focused on winning a championship, and I honestly don't think right now Kevin Durant knows what am I going to do, and that's fine.
I agree.
I think it's up to us to leave speculation and talking points and everything, but I think Kevin is in the moment, wants to get healthy and wants to win another championship.
Correct. But just to sort of finish up the thought, that suggests that what happens from here on out could influence what he decides
I'm sure everything's
to do.
playing a part in it.
I'm reading about my words. They'll beat Portland, but they will not beat the Milwaukee Bucks without Kevin Durant.
Well, we will
The Bucks
continue
are
to
too
see
big and difficult.
how his health is. And we're 11 minutes into the show. We haven't talked about Zion yet, so we're going to change that now. Ever since the Pelicans' shocking win in the NBA draft lottery, there's been speculation regarding whether Zion Williamson wants to play for the Pelicans. However, on a radio interview, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge's stepfather said they're excited about New Orleans. Take a listen to this.
We're excited. We're excited about that. One thing that Zion has always been taught, you accept the things that you can't change, you change the things that you can change, and this is one of the things that he had nothing to do with. It's the process of the NBA, and certainly, we're excited about the Crescent City down there in New Orleans. And you said about returning to Duke, there's been a lot of speculation, but that is nothing that we have even considered.
So, Jay Will, you actually have an interesting scenario that you think could work if they decided to maybe at least put a little bit of pressure on the NBA side of things and maybe the Pelicans side of things.
Yeah, first off, let me say I think he should go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I think playing underneath David Griffin is the right move. But I heard another, feasible option where they're like, oh, well, go to Duke. I would never suggest that. Another feasible, tangible option is you retract your name from the NBA draft and you go overseas. You play in a team like Barcelona. You play for Real Madrid. You're going to get the same kind of shoe money. How many international superstars do we have in the game of basketball coming out of college or high school? We had LeBron James, maybe Shaq. And think about this. He can also organize and negotiate a TV contract. He can say, hey, I'll come to Real Madrid if I get 10% of whatever that TV contract is. You don't think ESPN or social media, we're not going to follow him overseas? You can actually make a case that he can make more money for his stint over playing 1 year or a couple years over in Real Madrid than he would playing for the New Orleans Pelicans right away. And that is a feasible, tangible option. I'm not saying he should do it, but it's actually a tangible option.
Well, you've been in this position before. You were the number 2 pick, and I think your ultimate goal was to do what? Play in the NBA.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, great vision, things could happen. And now is the time for it, with the balls did and everything. Now is the time to do something like that. But I just don't see that happening. I think there's too much money on the table. And to me, he just seems like a kid that wants to play basketball. When he got hurt early in the season, don't play no more, wait for this. You can tell he wanted to play. He just wants to play basketball. And I think that's what it is now. I think we have to, obviously count our blessings. New Orleans may not be the ideal team he wanted to be on. I think everyone thought, and he thought he was going to the Knicks, but now it's New Orleans. You got to go out there and do what you have to do.
Look, and the reality of all this is he hasn't said one time, I don't want to play in New Orleans.
And
his reaction, and I go back to you.
Nor did he say, I want to play in New Orleans.
No, but when you got drafted and you went through the lottery process, and you knew you were either going 1 or you were going 2, right? You weren't looking at the team that was coming up at number 7 because the way the draft lottery was positioned at that time, they had a really limited chance to move all the way up into that window. This year's lottery was different. You were there. You saw it firsthand. There was a buzz in the room. You had teams moving up all over the place. You had 2 of the teams with the worst record get picks 5 and 6.
And because of that, the reaction for Zion, I think, was kind of like, wow, wait, New Orleans?
Yeah.
That wasn't even on my radar screen. And now it's on his radar screen. And the reality is you have to start your clock. Because where do you make your money as an NBA player? That second contract.
Right.
You want to get to that second contract, and his marketability and the money that he's going to be able to make isn't going to change all that much because he's a guy that is a game changer, as you said. 80% plus ratings is what you said the other day, Green?
The television rating for the lottery special was up 80% year over year.
Okay, and why was that?
That's because of Zion.
Okay, so it doesn't, in today's media market, and because of the following, we've never seen anyone out of high school have this kind of social media traction. It's going to follow him.
It is important to point out, though, that he has not yet chosen an agent and has not yet signed a shoe deal. So that is why we're going to keep talking about it.
Two times you have leverage in your life as an NBA player.
Right. No.
Going into right now
and
then free agency. Like, you have to utilize that leverage if you have it.
Also, look, I love the outside the box thinking on everybody's part. And if he really desperately didn't want to play in New Orleans, I could see entertaining some of these options. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he probably is best served. Just go play there, even if it's not where he wants to. As you said, get everything started and move on. The last guy who tried to sort of reinvent the wheel at this time with my UCLA guys sitting over here was Lonzo Ball. And that did not go so well, obviously, for him.
Or he could pull Eli Manning. I mean, just force what you want. I mean, if you want to be seen that way publicly, that's not who he is, but he could.
We'll see. And there are a couple of other angles to this that we will discuss as the morning continues here. But I want everyone to talk about one superstar. Let's talk about another. And that would be a fellow by the name of Tiger Woods, who yesterday had himself a tough time on one of the toughest golf courses in the world, round one of the PGA Championship at Bethpage. Tiger Woods would start on the back nine. So he's playing number 10, but it's his first hole of the day. And it is a brutally difficult 500-yard par 4. This is his third shot. And that's not where he wanted to hit it. He would double bogey his first hole of the day. He would actually make two doubles on his front nine, which was the course's back nine. Now, things would turn for him a little bit as it went on. That's a great second shot on the par 5 fourth. Again, he's playing this as his back nine, but he would put that there for eagle. And so Tiger then trying to get his round jump started, and the eagle will land. So Tiger a little fired up as he would get a little momentum going. Now par 4 fifth hole, so tries to put together a couple of good holes in a row. He has this one here for par, and Tiger missed a lot of putts that looked like this one. The kinds of things you do not usually. He hasn't played competitively in a month. Was there a little rust here? Tough to say. Par 3 eighth now. Tiger putting for par, and again misses that one. He was 0 for 5 on putts between 5 and 10 feet in round one, and opening round 2 over 72, so not a great day. You saw him shaking hands with Brooks Koepka. Koepka in his group was spectacular yesterday, shot a 63. Tiger and Koepka entered this tournament as co-favorites at 8-1. Koepka now 5-4 after shooting that 63. Tiger is now listed at 40-1. And let us go live to Bethpage. Our favorite caddy is Michael Collins, and he is standing by live, and you were there walking with him yesterday. What in particular did you see, Michael, that made Tiger struggle the way he did?
Well, it's funny. We talked about it earlier in the week, and that is rust. It just looked like Tiger had a little bit of rust early in the round. It wasn't like on the first hole he hit a bad shot. His warm-up session was phenomenal. Perfect tempo. On that first hole, it looked like Tiger swung a little too smooth. But then mental mistakes that we don't normally see from Tiger. Even he talked about it. He made some bad decisions, which led to those two double bogeys. And then the putter. That was the one thing, as you said, he was 0 for inside of 7 feet, which is unheard of for Tiger Woods when it comes to putting, especially after what we saw at the Masters. Tiger just looked like a guy who hadn't played since the Masters, and he was trying to shake the rust off. And when he did start building momentum, those 3-putt bogeys just shut that momentum down. And you could see, even from Tiger, a little slump in the shoulders.
Yeah, and he may have put himself too far behind Brooks Koepka and the others to have a chance to make a run. We'll see what he does today. Let's talk about Koepka. And you and I talked about this at Augusta. For my money, Brooks Koepka is the best player in the world, even though he is a name most people don't know. How good was he yesterday?
You got to remember, he did that with Tiger Woods. So all the big, I'm a Tiger fan and Tiger's my friend, but I'll be the first one to admit there's Tiger fanatics out there that after the Masters, they all said that intimidation factor's back. Tiger's going to scare all these dudes. No, he ain't. Brooks Koepka was playing with him and shot a bogey-free 7-under, and he didn't make birdie on both of the par 5s. This guy is so misunderstood. Everybody thinks that he's boring. This dude is a hip hop lover. That's the thing. If you want to get Brooks Koepka engaged, either be at a major or be talking about hip hop. If it ain't hip hop, a major, or maybe working out, he probably don't want nothing to do with talking about it.
Michael, thank you. Yeah, look, he's whatever else his other interests are, he's the best player in the world, and he may be on his way to another major championship here. Michael Collins, thank you. We'll check in with you again on Monday. Meanwhile, on Planet Earth, here's something that I think Michael Collins dreams about, and that is being just absolutely covered in nacho cheese. This guy lost a trivia contest at a Mariners game.
That is.
And that was his reward.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder if he ate any of it.
Why would you agree to that?
No.
Hey, did they bring him a bowl of tortilla chips afterwards so he could scoop it off his face and eat it?
Why would you agree to that?
Cheese
Once again,
steaks, too.
Michael Collins is going, you know what, that looks so bad. Anyway, coming up, the Warriors come out to play. The Bucks aren't fooling around, and Zion's plans become clearer. We got Charles Barkley taking on all the big storylines as he joins us next. Get Up on ESPN.